long before modern science explained the turning of the earth. The ancient Norse people looked up at the sky in absolute terror. They didn't just see a wild predator roaming the dark, freezing forests. They saw the ultimate harbinger of the end of the world. A shadow so massive and terrifying, it was destined to swallow the sun itself. Why did these fierce Viking warriors fear the wolf above all other beasts? Because in their mythology, the apocalypse, Ragnarok, begins with a single, deafening howl. Welcome to Alpha Spirit. Today we journey from the chilling Norse sagas to the modern wild, exploring the true wolves of legend. At the very center of Norse mythology stands Fenrir, the monstrous child of the trickster god, Loki. Fenrir was not born evil, but his sheer unstoppable power terrified the gods of Asgard. Fearing his massive strength, they decided to bind him in unbreakable magical chains. But to place the chain around the giant wolf's neck, a sacrifice had to be made. The god of war, Tyr, placed his own right hand into Fenrir's jaw as a false pledge of trust. When Fenrir realized he was trapped, he crushed Tyr's hand in a legendary act of betrayal and vengeance. Fenrir was left chained in the dark, his endless rage growing as he awaited the end of days. But Fenrir was not the only wolf who haunted the skies of the ancient world. The Vikings believed the sky was a massive hunting ground. They looked up and told stories of Skoll and Hati, two relentless celestial wolves. Skoll endlessly chased the sun, while his brother Hati hunted the moon across the heavens. When a solar eclipse darkened the sky, the Vikings believed the wolves had finally caught their prey. They would scream and bang their shields to scare the giant wolves away and save the light. This mythology was humanity's way of explaining the terrifying, uncontrollable forces of nature through the behavior of apex predators. But the Norse relationship with wolves was not only built on fear and destruction. There was a completely different side to this legend, one built on profound respect and loyalty. Unlike the chained monster Fenrir, the All-Father Odin had two constant, loyal companions. Their names were Geri and Freki, the ravenous ones who sat faithfully at Odin's feet. They accompanied the supreme god onto the bloodiest battlefields and into the great halls of Valhalla. Odin gave them all his food, choosing to sustain himself entirely on wine. In these legends, Geri and Freki were not mindless beasts, they were wise, noble partners of the gods. This legendary partnership beautifully reflects the true social structure of wild wolves. For decades, modern pop culture has sold us the myth of the aggressive, dominating alpha wolf. But real biology tells a story much closer to the wisdom of Odin's companions. In the wild, a wolf pack is not a dictatorship ruled by violence and fear. It is a deeply loyal, cooperative family unit led by experienced parents guiding their young. The true strength of a wolf is not in dominating others, but in its unwavering devotion to its pack. Just as Geri and Freki served Odin, wild wolves serve the survival of their family. But the ancient Norse sagas reveal another fascinating, deeply realistic biological truth. Odin was never seen without his wolves, and he was never seen without his two ravens, Hugin and Munin. Your comments have asked about this mystic union, and the ancient Vikings knew exactly what they were witnessing. In the real freezing wilderness, wolves and ravens share a profound, documented symbiosis. Ravens are the eyes of the sky. They fly high above the dense forests, spotting weak or fallen prey. They cannot tear through thick hide, so they call down to the wolves with specific vocalizations. The wolves follow the raven's calls, hunt the prey, and open the carcass. In return for acting as scouts, the ravens get to feast on the scraps left behind by the wolves. The Vikings watched this incredible cooperation in the snow and turned it into divine mythology. The ravens were Odin's thought and memory. The wolves were his strength and loyalty. A perfect cooperative balance in nature, romanticized into the greatest stories ever told. But as centuries passed, the grand, respectful sagas of the Norse gods began to fade. The noble companions of Odin were replaced by medieval European fairy tales. The wolf was stripped of its divine majesty and reduced to the villainous big bad wolf in children's stories. Ancient awe transformed into modern persecution, leading to the near extinction of these incredible predators. We forgot that wolves are not monsters waiting to swallow the sun or blow down our houses. They are the essential architects of our natural world, maintaining the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Today, we are finally waking up from centuries of fear and rewriting the mythology. We are learning to see the wolf not as a symbol of the end of the world, but as a symbol of wild, untamed life. Just like the Vikings, we must look at these majestic creatures with a sense of profound respect. Without them, the forests fall silent, and the true spirit of the wilderness fades away. Thank you for exploring the shadows of mythology with Alpha Spirit. If you believe the wild still needs its legends, share this documentary and subscribe for more.